Hey y'all, it is November the 14th, 2018. I got Bella over there. She wants attention, and it's too bad. Y'all, I wanted to holler at y'all real quick. I've been leaving, little videos, little goofball videos the past couple of days. Basically just to keep in contact with y'all and stuff, man. Keep the conversation going. Nothing too much because I haven't had too much time. I've been, allocating my time as best as possible. Hanging back, taking a break from all the diving down rabbit holes. Just a little bit. Um, to be sure, I'm about to dive back down. But I wanted to holler at y'all real quick because I didn't have enough time to edit a funny goofball video today. And I wanted to talk with y'all about something that's very serious in relation to Parkland. I mentioned it a long time ago, and I'm sure I'm not the first one to mention it, and I am not a genius. All right, but according to the official narrative, which nobody in the world believes for real, according to that one, I think his name is Chris, but I might be mistaken. Chris McKenna. All right, everybody remembers him. He's the guy who saw, quote, Nicholas in the stairwell. All right, and then Nicholas basically gave him an ultimatum and said it's gonna get real messy, little boy. And Chris McKenna darted out. According to I don't know, I haven't seen video, but according to the animation, he darted out like dang a Michael Johnson, you know what I'm saying? He had golden shoes on. All right. And that is what it is. I talked to a few people about it. They say that's kind of amazing. Because when you think about it, certainly if young Nicholas is loading the AR, if he's doing that right then, technically speaking, that would be the perfect time to maybe tackle him. All right, wrestle him down the ground, take the AR and stuff like that. Chris McKenna, like we said, darted like you wouldn't believe. All right, that's how the narrative goes. And who's to say if we could fault Chris McKenna necessarily? We got to think about this, all right? He darted. That was the first thing he did. He went and he told the authorities. That's probably protocol. I bet you that's policy. I bet you that's in a handbook somewhere. All right, so Chris McKenna followed the handbook. Right? But he had the absolute perfect opportunity to tackle a Nicholas Cruz if Nicholas Cruz indeed was loading his AR at the time. Right? And I do want to point out also that the big man or whatever that some people claim to have seen shooting up the place, Nick Cruz is not very big. He's still growing. Y'all, he's kind of slight in nature and stuff. Chris McKenna, I don't know how big he is, but it would have been pretty well formidable and stuff. A long time ago, they were talking about Scott Peterson, oh, he could have saved some lives. Well, he might have been able to save some lives had he been able to. He wasn't the only one, but they were talking about Scott Peterson, how he could have saved some lives. Chris McKenna could have saved every single life that day. All right? I'm not the one to want to really pile it on Chris McKenna and dogpile it on him. He did have an opportunity. He let it slip through his fingers. But I do want to focus on the fact is that the school, on record, according to everybody, was training for these drills, right? And pretty much 99% of the student populace really, really thought it was a drill until they figured out it wasn't. And that was a long time later. It was a long time later. So if you put Chris McKenna in the same boat as everybody else, you wouldn't be able to blame him. Of course he would have thought it's a drill. And if it was a drill, obviously he's not supposed to tackle the shooter. If this was in fact a drill, and how would he even know? If it was a drill that was rumored to have happened any day then obviously protocol would be for Chris McKenna to be the brave scout who runs as fast as he can to the local authorities and gets them to stop. That's how the drill would go. The drill obviously would not end with Chris McKenna tackling Nicholas Cruz to the ground and beating him to a pulp. Do you understand? So the drills in and of themselves actually did train Chris McKenna to dart out that door if in fact that really did happen. No, you have not seen no kind of videos. Anyways, that's all I had time for today. I appreciate y'all. Y'all holler at me and stuff. Also, I don't think Sheriff Israel ever mentioned a helmet, and a lot of people did. Anyways, there's a lot of stuff we could talk about, but I don't have no time. And I appreciate y'all. I'll holler at y'all. Please holler at me. And y'all know who you are.